Hey y'all, Katie here, and welcome to Make Dollars Make Sense, the podcast that helps you teach your child financial literacy. Catch us here once per month on your favorite podcast platform. Just do a quick search for MOMnation Talk Radio. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, you are. Welcome back to Make Dollars Make Sense with your host, Real Estatey Katie, and your co-host, Savvy Sonia. Welcome, Sonia.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. I'm super excited about this topic because and I know you have done some of the things that we're going to go over to save on your utilities and all the cool little money saving tips out there. I did my nice little green background.
Cute.
But
I love it.
I'm super excited for it though.
Yay. So let's jump right into it. What is our topic for today?
So topic is all about your utilities and kind of all your utilities, including like water, electric. We're going to go over awesome rebates that you can get, things that you can do to really help those costs. Because right now it's just so unaffordable right now for a lot of people. And I think this could really help everybody out. Even little things we'll go over. So I mean, if you can afford to do some of the things that we talk about some really low cost, super easy things that will take 10 seconds. So yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Awesome. Well, let's dive right into it because like you said, I know that this is a topic on many people's lips because of the rises, of costs of everything. I mean, gas and, food and going out to eat and all of that stuff. Then, yeah, we've got to have a little bit of relief somewhere. So I'm glad that we're going over this topic today.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me pull up all right. Can you see all this? You can hear? Okay.
Sure can. You're starting off with a bang with my favorite thing.
So pretty much the easiest and best thing that you can do is get on a price plan. So whether you go with SRP or APS, whoever your designated electric company is, and I'll show you APSs as well. They all have all these great plans. There's not one size fits all. It all depends on what you do in your house, what you have. Like this SRP electric vehicle price plan, good for me because I have an EV vehicle. It all depends on where you like. I know that Katie, you work from home, so we both do, but you're always on so not having the AC noon might be a little hard. So it all what you do.
It's actually not that bad. So what ended up happening was, you're right. So I do work from home and that's where my office is, right? So, when I'm working, unless I'm out in the field, this is where I am. I'm here right now, in fact. And we called SRP and talked to them about it. And, my husband can probably speak a little bit more in detail about this because he's the one that actually did it. But we have the Nest thermostats. And so we told them that, and they work with our Nest thermostats, and they actually program or control our Nest thermostats from wherever, I don't know. And they will, depending on the time of day, they'll cool down the house really cool. And then, the ACs don't kick on for a couple of hours, of course, but it's never been uncomfortable. And if it gets uncomfortable, we just go and we can still manually adjust it. So if we're having a party or something like that, then we'll manually adjust it. But we really haven't had that issue. And we follow their time frame. So I'm not running the dryer or the washer or the big energy suckers during the peak times. I'm running those on off-peak times. And it was just really about getting into a rhythm and, getting a little system. I have a pretty large home, square footage wise, and I was actually a little bit nervous when we bought the home because I was like, oh my gosh, the utility bills are going to be crazy, but they're not. I've never had an electric bill over $450. And for my size home, that's unheard of.
Not just your size home, but the amount of you have some beautiful windows in your home, which I'll kind of cover some of those, but so many windows to let so much light in, but that's crazy and you don't have solar, right?
We don't have solar. It's something that we're kind of considering, and I know that you'll probably dive into this too, but speaking of windows, many of our windows, not all. So my house was built in 1992. And many of our windows were changed out when we first purchased the home. So those big, beautiful windows that you're talking about, especially the ones that get a bunch of sun, we have super new technology, as far as windows are concerned, and they don't get hot at all. I mean, I can touch them in the full on sunlight and they are not hot. And you know how some windows, you can't even touch them if they're in full sunlight. So windows are definitely a big deal.
Yeah, they're super important. And that's one of the things that we'll touch on. And there's a couple things, the window itself, some accessories that we'll go over. But yeah, it's that's awesome that you have no solar and just doing all those cool tips. You could stay under, because I know how big your house is. It's ginormous. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So that is the first thing to do, is kind of look at your personal just how your lifestyle is, and you can find the plan that fits you. So some of the things that you can do around your home is install the smart thermostat like you were talking about.
Big.
Shade screens are huge. Another thing to just pedal back with the smart thermostat, you could, like how you said, you can, even if you're not on that plan with your electric company, you can find the plan that works for you. It's like, it'll tell you when the energy, like I know Nest has the little leaf, and you could set all of that, like you were talking about, whenever you have parties, you could super cool it, and then it'll won't work so hard during the party because it's already pretty cool. Your shade screens for your windows, that's one of the accessories I was talking about. Also, the type of blinds that you have. So there's shade screens, which are the normal screens that you have, but they're a little bit darker. They're great for conserving energy and also privacy. So it's kind of a twofer.
Totally
so
agree.
Really nice. And then like if you get like wood shutters, are awesome too. Depending, there's certain blinds that are eco blinds that help cut down on the sun, the sun coming into your home. So that's pretty great. And then
also they have like room darkening or energy efficient. I don't know if I'm using the right words, but you can get drapes that will help keep the heat out as well. So if you've got like a bedroom window that you don't want to do blinds on or shutters on, and you'd rather have drapes and, pop a little color in there, then I would look at those drapes for sure.
Yeah, those are pretty awesome. The ones that we put in our house, so we have drapes in a couple of the rooms, but what we put in our most sunrooms is the those cool roller shades. And they're actually not as expensive as I thought. And there's different levels of how much light you want to let out, from completely blackout to just have just like semi privacy. But you could fit them to your needs. And there's so many different kinds out there for any budget. This one
totally agree. And there's some that you can actually, if you want to get real fancy, did you see the ones that you can set and they'll automatically detect the amount of sunlight, so they will come down on their own?
That is cool.
Pretty rad.
I need that for my multi-slider, because during sunset it's like bam in your face.
Yeah.
So I always
you have such pretty sunsets.
I do, but it's like it burns whenever I don't like, and I have a little bit of tint, but it gets kind of hot through there. So that's one of the reasons why we have the roller shades there going down, and I could program them, but that's really cool to have. I wish I would have known about those before I installed them, because that would be really cool. So yeah, technology nowadays is ridiculous. So another thing is to shade your home. So plant some trees. There's some fast growing trees, or if you're looking to buy a home, the tree, depending on where the windows are, if it has, that's always a plus, is the trees. Make sure to keep them trimmed, because sometimes they, you don't want them messing up your roof or your gutters. But yeah, the trees are the most they're so efficient to shade your house. And then optimize your pool pump. If you have a pool, getting one of the smart, like I have a Pentair one where you can control it with the app. We run ours during the nighttime because it's not so hot out. It doesn't have to work so hard. And there's settings on there to be energy efficient. This one's really cool. I didn't know about this one until about a year ago. So to buy the right light bulbs let out a ton of heat.
They do.
So much heat. And so there's certain ones that taper down on that so that your AC can work more efficiently. And then we talked about this to weatherize your doors and your windows, make sure that there's no leaks in there. I know the front door, there's garage service doors, and outside, just make sure there's no light going through. They sell these super cheap kits that you could to help make that airtight. So there's all of that.
That's a giant big deal. How many houses do you go into and you can see the light of day around their door? So what your AC system is doing is it's sucking in air, right? So it's sucking in air and you've got your intake and it's pulling that hot air in through those holes. And you may think, oh, that's not very much, it's just kind of a little crack, but it does make a really big difference. And then that's like a super highway for pests and things to get into your house too. So yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the big thing. And then one thing that's not on here, but we're going to go over on this next page, is insulation, is huge. To make sure if you're buying a home or if you're already in your home, check your insulation, just pop your head in your attic. And sometimes depending on what insulation you have, there's the blow insulation that settles over time. Whenever you have work on your house, sometimes the AC guy or whoever you have go up there to fix something, they move it, they don't put it back. And having the proper insulation in your home to keep that that cool air in your home is key to saving, because then it's just having to work dual haul, it's just going to have to work way harder. So so there's that. And then these are some of the things that I love. Is SRP is huge about conserving energy and helping you conserve energy, and so they have all these great rebates. So here's the one that we talked about with you, their smart thermostat program. They have an air conditioning rebate. Here's that insulation that we spoke about. Because if you need to put new insulation in, because there's so many different kinds of insulation. There's the fiberglass one, there's a spray one. There's the one that
the spray foam, the bat.
Spray foam. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to make sure that that's all good, they have a $600 rebate on that. And then they have these two things that you should definitely take advantage of. So you have the home energy assessment. So that one's virtual. So you could kind of just briefly talk to them about your home. They could give you a little bit of advice. This home energy audit is super awesome because they can go and they can really come in and do kind of like an energy inspection and make sure that everything is good. Your AC is working well. You have no like leaks in your duct system, all that. So that's more personalized. If you just need a little bit of advice, I'd say this home energy assessment, but this is always really good to get. Could save you tons of money. And then you have the duct repair rebate, and then the cool roof rebate.
Well, back to the ducts. How often do we run into, in my many years in real estate, I've run into it a bunch, and I'm sure you've run into it too, where a homeowner doesn't realize that they've got a tear in their duct.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. So that cool air is just going into the attic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, and that's the thing too, is that's why getting some of these home energy audits or something like that is really great, because even in new construction homes, we see it where one subcontractor comes in after another. Maybe they're, putting their, maybe they're putting their AC in or something, and they crimp it and tear it. And you just don't know. And they're like, oh, wow. That's why we always say get an inspection whenever you get a new build, even though it's new, is you just don't know whenever those things happen. You just think, I don't know how many times people have said, okay, well, my energy bill is like a crazy amount of money. We have to run our AC more. And really it's just that there was something wrong with their system, whether it's crimped, whether there's a tear in it. And then there's a rebate for it, $400. So
yeah. I suspect we know a lot of people who are renting properties that have damaged ducts and not enough insulation, and that's why their energy bills are skyrocketing. Yeah. So just another reason to get your own place so you can be in charge of that, people.
Yeah. But yeah, see, there's a lot of these. So this thing was really cool. The earn free shade trees. I don't know why that was such a tongue twister, but you go to this workshop and then they'll give you 2 trees to plant in your house or not in your house. You don't want it in your house, on the outside of your house for shade. So that's super cool. There's all these little programs that you don't really know about. So window treatment. I mean, there's tons. There's so many. This one was really cool. I wish I would have known about that one before I put my charger in, but you could get a charger put in your house. So I mean, there's tons of them. So
A charger for an electric vehicle is what she meant.
yes, sorry.
That's okay. We have some people that just listen to the podcast version.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so that's really cool. And it's a level 2 charger. So it's your typical 42 kilowatt charger. So that you get. And then they also have their SRP marketplace, and they give discounts on thermostats and cool little things. So that's another place to check their website for savings. And then I'm not going to go over this too much because we're planning on there's so many nuts and bolts to solar.
yeah.
We just put solar on our house. They have great tax credits that you could take advantage of. Now, unfortunately, APS and SRP, they do not offer rebates because of the popularity anymore. They used to, but it's just become so popular that they don't really need to. So if you hear of there's so many scams or like bait and switches whenever it comes to solar, make sure that you do your homework on solar. But we'll go over this in another show, so keep a lookout for when we go over solar. There's so many moving gears to it, but it's something that we've loved. We keep our home at like 72 like all day because we like it cool inside the house, like very cold. And
Yeah, I'd freeze.
yeah, we have a pretty big house too, and we both me and my husband both work from home. The kids are constantly streaming. We're washing God knows how many clothes. So, we're doing all of that, and we have a pretty dang reasonable electric bill. So solar's great, but it's very personalized. So we'll go over that later, but just something else to save you whenever it comes to your energy bill. And then here's APS, same thing here. They have their plans. One thing with solar is APS and SRP have completely different solar plans. So APS is a little bit more solar friendly, but yeah, once again, APS does not offer rebates, but they have the same tax deductible credits or tax credits. So yeah, so there's your different plans there. And then they also have their little marketplace. They have some rebates, which what is it here? Actually, I'll go over those. There we go. So they have some similar rebates. So the AC upgrade, cool control, which is like the Nest thermostat, or something similar like Honeywell or something like that, duct repair. So they have pretty similar things. And then also, so here's where they have all of their solar stuff. Like I said, they don't do any rebates, but they have a really great solar program. I'm jealous of APS people because it's a little bit better. They give you a credit at the end of the year.
Oh, nice.
RP doesn't, APS does. It's really great. So if you're with APS and you're on the fence about solar, they're awesome.
Nice.
Another thing is gray water. So gray water is things that come out of, is the water that comes from washing your hands, washing dishes, those sort of things. So there's certain gray water systems that you can install in your home, and you could use it for irrigation, for your trees or for your plants. It can't be used for like fruit, well, citrus trees, yes, but not for like vegetable plants and those kind of things.
Gardens and stuff.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, it can't be used for that, but it could be used for all of your other nice, pretty plants. And they give a tax credit of 25% of the cost of installing that up to $1,000. So that's kind of cool. And then there's also a program on water, like if you put like with the water barrels in your for rainwater. So Arizona is one of the states that you can collect rainwater. Some states don't allow it because they want the natural water process to, them to naturally go into the streams. And Arizona lets you have collect rainwater. So that's also a really good way to save money whenever you're watering all of your plants. And then we have, so there's so many rebates whenever it comes to saving water. When it depends on the city that you're in. So I have like this list with all of the different cities, and they're all completely different. And it's anything from toilets. So like whatever toilets that you get, there's certain low flow toilets. I know whenever I grew up, my dad always wanted to save water, so we had to take military showers. Do you know what those are?
Just fast ones?
It's worse. So we had to get in the shower, turn on the shower, wet ourselves. There was this little button at the top, and then to like pause the water, so we didn't have to turn it all the way off. So we had to pause the water, wash our hair and our body, turn the water on, rinse off, and then turn it back off. Like, so if we weren't under the water, it had to be off. Like that was, yeah. My dad was
No,
crazy.
I mean, we didn't have a button, but my showers were darn quick when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So, there's, instead of doing that, there's certain low flow, shower heads, all of that good stuff that you could still have good pressure on. A big misconception is if you get low flow that your water pressure, I love a good water pressure shower. There's some really good water saving shower heads that you can still have some good pressure on. So there's those, and then the big thing is landscaping. Those are where a lot of the rebates are. They vary by city, but like if you and I don't know if you can help me pronounce this word. I always pronounce it's xeriscape. Is that how you pronounce it?
Xeriscape, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm like,
think so.
I don't know. But it's pretty much desert landscaping or low water landscaping. So you have your rock, you have your low water plants, like our desert plants, like any cacti. There's turf, and there's so many different rebates for putting turf in your house or in your yard. There's some where sometimes you do have to do quite a bit of work to get the rebate, but it's all worth it. Like there was like City of Mesa has $1,100 if you were to replace your grass with with any kind of xeriscape that you want, but the grass has to be healthy. So if you have dead grass and you're just trying to make your yard pretty, that doesn't count. You have to have actual, I think it has to be 75 or 70% alive. That you could have somebody remove that and replace it with turf or rock or some low water plants. But yeah, there's some loops, hoops, and swoops to doing that, but it's worth it. I mean, $1,100 is $1,100. So
Yeah.
I'm taking pictures, sending them in, and doing all that good stuff. But yeah, there's tons of them for everywhere. Weirdly enough, so Phoenix only has this I thought this was kind of weird because it's the main city that we're all around. It only has the toilets and shower head, the toilet and shower head kind of rebate-ish sort of stuff. So they don't have, right, they're planning on introducing, they said towards the end of this year, but then it got pushed to the beginning of 2024, where they're going to try to introduce more like water conservative rebates out there.
I'm surprised they don't have the landscaping ones. I thought Phoenix was doing the landscaping one.
I was super surprised too, but on their website, it said they don't currently do it, but they're wanting to, they were planning on towards the end of this year, but it's not on there yet. So hopefully by the beginning of next year. Why they don't have it, I don't know. There's a lot of lush neighborhoods in Phoenix.
Oh, for sure.
That would love some extra money. So yeah, so there's that. And then I always love to shout out a couple of my favorite people. So for any of your like landscaping needs, Top Notch is a company that I've, that I've worked with, Katie's worked with, they're amazing. They do great work. They can help walk you through. They're so the Romeros are the ones who own Top Notch. They're very versed in these rebates. Or if you don't want to if you can't take advantage of the rebates, then they could help you find something that'll work for your budget, for budget of actually installing it, and then also whatever water budget they could find you. So they're super, super great. So somebody to think about for landscaping. And then we just used AC Valley for our AC, and they're amazing. They help with so many different things. They also do they do sunscreens too, don't they? Do they
might have to ask about that. I'm not positive about that.
I wasn't sure if Top Notch or them did sunscreens. I know one of them
so Top Notch does the shade sales.
Okay, so
that
then
might be what you're thinking about, which is awesome because instead of installing a tree, you can install a shade sail over a window or something.
Yeah, and that'll help with any play areas or the windows. But yeah, so AC Valley is great. They could go in and make sure that your air conditioning and heating system is all up to par, and so that you're not wasting money. But yeah, so that is my spiel on all the ways to save money when it comes to utilities.
Awesome. I love it. And I know that our listeners, our followers, our mama members out there really appreciate that too, because I mean, how many posts do you see, especially in the summertime when it's hot? How many posts do you see about water conservation? How are you guys doing this? How are you guys saving money? My AC bill is this much. Is that normal? So many questions out there. I also popped a link to a blog post on our blog that goes over some other energy efficient things that you can do in your home, some things that we did not touch on in this show. So check that out. Like I said, that's in the show notes. Thank you so much, Savvy Sonia, for being with us. If you guys want to check out any of our previous episodes, we talk about saving money here. Hop on over to our YouTube channel. It is at MOMnation USA. Just scroll down quickly and you will see the Make Dollars Make Sense playlist. And then if you are, or in addition to, if you are more of a podcast listener, you prefer it in your ears versus watching a video, then you can hop onto your favorite podcast platform, do a quick search for MOMnation Talk Radio. There you will get all of our shows, not just Make Dollars Make Sense, but everything that we do here at MOMnation. So check that out. Enjoy, follow, hit the little bell for the notifications, all the things, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.